like a year or two later, we decided, let's give her a surprise party. She's never had one. We kept it a really good secret. It wasn't like a big deal. We just all got together at a restaurant. One of us invited her to the restaurant for dinner to celebrate her birthday because they were going to be out of town. I said, oh, I want to have birthday dinner with you because I'm going to be out of town. And she was like, oh yeah, that would be great. And they were going to meet for drinks and all that kind of good stuff. And we did it that way because we knew that the type of restaurant it was, she would get dressed up to go. The one thing I was very, very adamant about, again, this same thing with the pranky thing, I don't want her to show up to a party that's just for her and she shows up in sweats and not expecting it, and she's the only one there not dressed for the party and not feeling pretty, you know? It's a girl thing. So we made sure it was a very nice restaurant so that she would come looking nice, and she thought that they were just having drinks, and we had reserved a little area, this little nook in the restaurant. We reserved it and invited people that she hadn't seen in a while and people she wouldn't have expected us to invite, and nobody, you know, that would have been a bad surprise, like an old boyfriend or anything like that. Just a bunch of girlfriends that maybe some of us hadn't had time to get together as much or hadn't all been together for a really long time. This blue is very interesting. Not sure how I feel about it, but let's just see how it interacts with the other colors because it might be ingenious. It might be a fail, but it might be really cool. Who knows? So we got this little party room and we decorated it and just made it really pretty. Brought flowers and made it really gorgeous. We pre-ordered all the dinner so that, you know, we wouldn't have to go through that weird, what are we gonna order and break up the bill and all that kind of stuff. It was a really cool Italian place where they serve family style Italian. We could just order the platters and the food was so good. And we, you know, ordered the wine and had everything like ready to go. And then she showed up. She walked in, we all said, surprise! And she was so happy. She just started crying. I mean, it wasn't even that big a deal, but it was just a good surprise. Who doesn't love a good surprise? Now that's the kind of thing I like. I don't like mean stuff. I also love like surprise packages in the mail. I don't know what it is, but when I was a little kid, I never got anything in the mail. They would have like these things, like if you saved your box tops or whatever, you know, 10 of them and mailed it in with $3, they'd mail you some crappy little prize. And we always used to get excited about that, like, we're gonna do it. I don't think we ever followed through. Yeah, I kind of like the immediate gratification of a crappy prize at the bottom of the cereal box. I don't know why. Cracker Jack too. I'm dating the hell out of myself, but I did like that. You know, it was just a little something something. I am just goofing around here. I want to be playful. I want to try new things. When you're painting babies over and over again, especially if you might be doing the same sculpt that you've done a couple times, and the reason why I chose these sculpts is because I've had requests. Everybody loves Brooklyn. Everybody loves Darren. And then I just grabbed a couple of other ones that were just a little bit different or that I hadn't tried before or had been sitting on the shelf for a while. If you're somebody who paints babies, you know that that's kind of what happens. You go to pick your baby or your babies that you're gonna paint and you just say, okay, who wants to be painted? And you just grab those babies. This blue is very deep. It may be a mistake, but I am gonna go for it anyway. I just feel it. I just feeling it. I just opened up a little bit of vein blue there, and I'm gonna mix this with some thinner, and I'm gonna grab a super skinny brush, not too skinny. I don't like little itty bitty fine liner veins, and I don't like big thick ones either. I like them just medium. My medium. And I'm just making a watered down blue here with the vein blue. I use my caps for mixing all the time. And I'm just gonna start veining up this baby, making little trees that branch out. And I sometimes wonder, why the heck do I vein this head when I am just going to paint hair over it anyway? Well, I do it because it's good practice. I do it because I like the way it looks. And I do it because when you paint a baby's head or you root a baby's head, or even if you have a bald baby, you're not covering every single little spot. And so wherever it's thinner or the hair is not, you can see those little veins. And I think it's one of those things that it's super subtle and you can't really see it, but it's there. And I like it. And I enjoy veining. I think it's fun. I like playing with those little squiggles. I don't know, I like it. There's weird things I like about reborning that maybe not a lot of people like. I really like hair painting. It's fun. I'm not super great at it yet, but I really like it. I loved the learning curve. Oh my gosh, that was my favorite part when I was still kind of really crappy at it, and I knew I was still really crappy at it, but I was just like pushing it and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna get any better or know if I can get any better unless I just keep doing this. And every baby, it got better and better. Every baby, I figured something out. I mean, I did look at tutorials and I watched other people paint, but really, it's just practice. You're gonna find your own way. There is no secret to it. And you should have your own style of hair painting. You know, everybody should. It's like a fingerprint. You should have your own unique style of hair painting. I mean, we can all be painting these babies like a little sweatshop, following the same rules, paint by numbers, and these dolls would be boring. You know, when I look at babies, I'm always looking for something unique. Even if it's not a style that maybe speaks to me, I just admire that somebody has, you know, that's just the way they're doing it. And I'm gonna name drop Bean again, just because I'm fangirling over that woman. She is just a very interesting person. I really think she's cool. I like it that she's her own person, but I don't really care for alternative babies. Don't like those scary babies. Oh, no, 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 no. I mean, I admire the workmanship. I can't stand clowns, but I've seen a couple of clown babies done that I thought, how the heck did they make that happen? And, you know, I like that people are doing their own thing. And that artistry is sometimes pretty amazing, but they don't appeal to me. I don't like scary things. But someone like Bean, I just really like that she has her own style. You don't mix it up with anybody else. You don't say, oh, she paints just like ... Just, you can tell it's her babies. You can tell she's doing her own thing, no matter how you feel about alternatives or glam babies or vampire babies. I just like the way she does it. And she dresses her babies all cute and cuddly and weird things that you wouldn't normally see a reborn dressed in. She's like, oh, look, I have these blue socks that are 2 sizes too big and this green t-shirt, and I'm gonna tie some ribbons around here, and I'm gonna throw on this giant hat, and oh my gosh, look what I found in my drawer. And it all just works, and it's all her, 100% her, so good on her. You know, and I think that's what we all have to do as artists, if you're an artist, is find your way, find your voice, find your vision. Don't apologize for it. Don't explain it. And if anybody gives you crap for it, ignore them. As long as you're honest and you're doing your thing. I am not a super tidy painter. I don't fuss over things that a lot of people fuss over. I'm not a perfectionist. In some ways I am, but in a lot of ways I'm not. You know, overall I'm going for an aesthetic. I'm going for what I like. And as long as you're open, and when you list a baby, you're disclosing everything, you know. Hey, this baby has bright purple hair, and I used, you know, I found these monster eyes at a costume shop. I just really liked them. And I don't know, you know, you just have to let people know what they're getting. A lot of styling covers up things, and you know, I never want anybody to think I'm being dishonest. Like, look at this beautiful picture of this beautiful baby. You know, I've taken the time to make sure that I've softened up all the edges with my photography and put the right filter on. I just, no, don't do that. That's not fair. Let them see what they're getting. If that baby doesn't look good in sunlight, it doesn't look good in sunlight. To some people, that doesn't even matter. They just might like your style. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to make you watch me shade all these babies. I'm not going to shade them all, and I'm not going to shade them all the same. I'm just letting you see this baby. And again, I'm experimenting with this blue. This may be a little overdone. It may bite me in the booty later, because sometimes certain blues and reds mix together and make a certain kind of purple that just, there's no getting away from. It starts to go muddy and gray. And you never know if that's maybe the mistake you're making. But you gotta take chances, right? You don't know unless you try. I have switched my paint thinner over to Gamasol from Mona Lisa. That's all I ever used was Mona Lisa. I was gonna switch over to a natural orange and lavender, and I tried it on 2 babies, and the scent, even though pleasant at first, got a little overwhelming, and it actually gave me a headache. It wasn't like a chemical headache. I think it was just, I'm super sensitive to strong scents. I'm a super sniffer. I've said that before. And although I love things that are aromatic, you can get overloaded pretty easily, and I did. I just got too much orange and lavender. It was just like, woo-wee. Oh, thank you. I need a break. So I had a big bottle of Gamasol that I had for a while, and I didn't want to trek out to the craft store and get some Mona Lisa, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to give this a go and see how it works out, and I'm really enjoying it. I just have a lot of ventilation. I don't have the fan on right now, but usually you can hear the fan in the background. And I have a little window here that I keep open even on a cold day. Okay, so now she's got some veins and she's got some shading, and I'm going to do a blue model. So this is a blue wash that I've had for a really long time. Again, once I run out of that, I'll probably make a different color, but that's what I have right now. I'm kind of sick of it and bored of it, but hey, I'm not gonna waste. I have a modeling sponge that I've had forever. All my modeling sponges in a little bowl, and they last a long time. You don't use them as much, you know? And you're very gentle, so they last quite a long time, especially if you have made them with a really good dense sponge. So I'm just doing a thin blue model over this entire baby. Not too heavy on the face. I don't want purple baby. Just everywhere. Ta-da! And you know, when you're doing it, if you're thinking, oh, that's too light, just stay with light. You can always do another layer, because if you go too dark, it's hard to come back from. Better to build, just build. I'm gonna leave that over there. And I'm gonna go get Brooklyn out of the oven and do the rest of the limbs on that baby, shade the other babies, and come back and start the next layer, which will be some yellows. See you in a few.